Hello folks, this is Alex here from BWOne.com, here to do another video review of the LG Viper 4G LTE for Sprint. When it comes to the Viper, it's sort of a product symbolizing Sprint's rebirth or even structural purification to some critics. It signifies the destruction of WiiMax, being Sprint's first 4G network, and the conversion to the more superior LTE technology. This is all but expected by most analysts as Sprint clearly rushed into the next generation of data speeds with no concept of future-proofing its network. They're looking to overcome some of those expensive obstacles with devices such as the Viper 4G. Before diving into the multiple aspects of the device, it must be made aware that Sprint itself doesn't have an actual LTE network up and running. Due to its reconstruction, quote unquote, it's in the early beta testing phase of 4G in areas you'll never visit in your life. So with that said, think of the LG Viper as a beta testing smartphone, sort of like those new Nokia Lumia commercials, until it's fully capable of utilizing its LTE chip. From a hardware perspective, its deceptive sex appeal is one of the few phrases that comes to mind when I first laid eyes on it. Looking at it here, it looks like it's a brushed metal. It looks very sexy. It's chubby, it's thick, but from first glance, you would think that this is a very premium device, sort of iPhone 4S X, if you so will. It's not until you actually feel the device that you realize LG has crafted it. Coming in one color variant, you'll get a silver brushed metal coated plastic material. Let me take off the back. As you can see, it's not too flimsy. You know, LG has pretty good durable plastic on their devices. You know, it's not a fingerprint magnet, so that's good. And it's not glossy, it's shiny, but it reflects well. You know, then you have your little, chrome LG symbol, so it's a nice touch. Even the housing is made of 50% recycled materials, so that's a plus. Nonetheless, LG has done a great job in terms of visuals for the Viper. Do some more surround shots for the device for you. The screen is a fingerprint magnet, but so are most screens. So you got get some focus on there. Okay, you got your volume rocker, which is also a chrome finish. It feels good. Your micro USB port, microphone. This side of the device is clean. You got your power button, pretty standard placement, very well done LG. Noise canceling, and your 3.5mm headphone jack. Okay, the LG provides a small bezel around the 4-inch display, 800 by 400 Nova display that gives above average viewing angles and respectable color reproduction. The phone itself is quite large, in size being about 0.46 inches thick. As I stated before, it's a chubby guy. I believe if LG attempted to make it just a little bit thinner, the mid-range label would no longer be associated with the device. You know, probably be up to a higher premium device. Moving on, it includes a beefy, take off the back, beefy 1700 milliamp battery. There you go. There you go. You got a single LED flash. You also got your 5 megapixel camera, which is capable of recording 1080p HD video, so that's always a plus. You get your actually inside this bad boy, you get a 1.2 gigahertz Snapdragon S3 processor with a gigabyte of RAM. You get your usual Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. It even has NFC built in, so that's somewhat future-proofing it, which is good. You do, however, get a measly 4 gigabytes of internal storage. But since the Viper has a micro SD card slot, bam, there you go. Do I have one in here currently? I do. Here we go. This one's 4 gigabytes. This is the one that comes with it. But you can obviously expand that to a higher 32 gigabyte or 16 gigabyte, whatever one you choose to have. Also spring loaded, so that's cool. Listing all of these seemingly high-end specs will lead you to believe that the price isn't $100 for a 2-year contract. I mean, these are pretty higher tiered specs. I've seen this a common theme from LG recently. They're definitely releasing high spec devices, but priced at a mid-range level. So that can only improve their status as an Android OEM, because it's a pretty rough territory right now. I forgot to mention that there's a front-facing VGA camera, so that's always cool. You can definitely get your Skype and Tango going. One thing from using the device, as you can, I don't know if you guys can tell, but it has 4 capacitive keys. Now, this is a high-def video camera that I'm recording with. It's really hard to see them. In daylight, it's impossible. When I turn on the backlighting, as you can see, it gets brighter, but you take it away, LG has made them too light. I know they were probably going for a flat, sexy theme in terms of a device, but you got to make the capacitive keys usable, especially with Android phones. Sometimes the home button's over here, then you got the back button over here, the menu button here. They're always switching where the keys should be. With ice cream sandwich, that's kind of obsolete, but at the end of the day, I wish LG kind of did make those brighter for you. I read an article a few months ago that claimed LG was on the rise of being a top Android OEM. That's definitely the case if they continue to make devices like this. I can't take nothing back from that. In terms of the software, you got stock Gingerbread. This is a LG theme. They love giving their devices Gingerbread, but they're high spec, so they can definitely handle something like Ice Cream Sandwich 4.0, which is rather disappointing. It could have been a potential bestseller if it had ice cream, no doubt, especially for Sprint, because Sprint only has the Nexus. They have the HTC One, but that's kind of been the One X series, LTE, but that's kind of been hindered due to the whole Apple dispute law, litigation, I'm sorry. But it's a huge omission. I do wish it had ice cream sandwich. They made a good decision in keeping it almost completely stock though. This is actually when you first turn on the device, they help you get around, helping you with, the notification bar and holding widgets, etc. It's pretty bland Gingerbread. I despise Gingerbread, not because it isn't usable, but these slow, redundant animations that are, it's a cool effect. When it first came out, everyone was like, wow, we got this whole, sexy, app screen. But this is old. This is almost a year and a half old to 2 years old. Click here. Let me see, press the home button. See, this is old. An ice cream sandwich, that's no longer an issue. You go to the app tray, the widgets are just a few swipes away. See, I just made a mistake thinking the home button was here, but it's over here. So as you can see, there's definitely usability issues when it comes to just day-to-day use with the device. This is bloatware plenty. Sprint has added nothing but bloatware on this device. You got your NASCAR. Go down a little bit, you got your Sprint ID, your Sprint Music Plus, Sprint NBA Mobile, Sprint TV and Movies, Sprint Zone. There's rumors that Sprint is kind of trying to make their own Google Wallet type of app or program, thus getting rid of Google Wallet. That is yet to be confirmed, but if that's the case, you will no longer have Google Wallet pre-installed on the device, which is a plus. And since it's an Android phone, I don't see why Sprint would want to do that. The integration is good enough with its Google apps. But moving on, here you go. Take you to the browser, if I can get to it. Here you go. Again, I'm on 3G. I do have a Wi-Fi home network, but I'm showing you that these are the speeds you're going to get because it is an LTE device, but Sprint doesn't have an LTE network up and running to consumers right now. So it definitely devalues the product. In a couple, I usually go to Engadget. I love Engadget. But if I can get the keyboard working here. Here you go. There you go. That was pretty fast. But overall speeds on Sprint's 3G network are abysmal in every definition of the word. I used the speed test app, as all the viewers do. It got about 800 kilobytes per second. In the middle of a pretty, wide range of people that need network data. This wasn't in the middle of nowhere. So Sprint needs to upgrade their network. They don't even have HSPA Plus, so that's definitely disappointing. I'm going to go to one more website, the one and only BWOne.com. Here you go. Load up. Not too bad again. I'm going to load up the mobile site, desktop version. Usually no one really opens up on their mobile phone. As you can see, again, I'm waiting. Our editor-in-chief, Warren, he was on Phone Dog Live with Sydney, so go check that out. It was definitely a very interesting video to watch. A bunch of Amboy hatred guys talking about Apple, so that's great. Just to show you a little bit of the viewing angles on the screen. There you go. They're decent. They're similar to the LG Lucid for Verizon. Same display, same size screen, same pixel density. So that's definitely a plus. You're not getting anything bad when it comes to the screen. Going towards the camera, putting it through its paces, I came away rather unimpressed with LG's offering. Colors were continuously cooler in nature, and images came out in this blue on a bluish side. Setting that aside, if you're in decent lighting conditions, the camera can provide more than usable photos, but they definitely could have. I mean, it's a beefy device. They definitely could have packed a bigger sensor in, but I'm just being picky. Recording 1080p HD on the device was a whole different type of ballgame. The stabilization during recording was atrocious. The slightest of movements caused obvious fragmentation and choppy effects. Having a firm grip on the device made no difference. Hopefully LG can fix this with a software update, which I don't see why they can't do that. If it has a hardware capable of upgrading the ice cream sandwich, they haven't said it will, but if that does come along the pipeline in Sprint's lineup, then that definitely adds a ton more value to the LG Viper. In terms of phone quality, making and receiving phone calls on the device was pretty basic. Volume was sufficient, and the caller on the other end heard words well, with very few background noise, if any, at all. Speakerphone quality was just as clear. Through the sound output, though the sound output could have been a bit louder, but overall, fairly decent experience for your buck. As previously stated, the Viper packs a 1700 milliamp battery. That seems to be a common theme again for LG devices. I mean, and I'm not complaining. Any device running Gingerbread with a 1700 milliamp hour battery is going to last you pretty well. Since the device currently isn't sucking in LTE data, the battery held up for a full day of moderate use to heavy usage. If you're watching multiple HD videos though, throughout the day, you'd be advised to bring a charger with you. Gingerbread doesn't handle HD video that well. There's personal use, just some things I found out. This is a big issue, the capacitive keys. This is a huge issue. I love to just know where my keys are. I mean, I've only had it for about a week or so now, but I still haven't gotten used to the placement. And because I don't see the keys, you're just playing duck, duck, goose. It's not cool. Hopefully, LG sees that this is definitely a usability issue and gets that fixed in the next iteration of the Viper. Being that Sprint's 4G LTE network is currently not available to consumers, and comparing the network's offerings, other offerings in LTE-capable devices like the Galaxy Nexus and the HTC Evo 4G, it's hard to recommend the Viper as a definite buy.